all you parents out there, on the count of 3, can I get you to holler as loud as you want, hallelujah? 1, 2, 3. Yes. And all of you students out there, did you know that it's your parents that give you your beliefs and your values? True story. Your beliefs are based on your earliest memories and your experiences. Today, though, think about how you have assimilated. You've had all these wonderful experiences with this family of choice for these last few years, and you've been transformed. And now it's actually called the Collective Unconsciousness. All this that you have absorbed from being in this wonderful environment has made you an agent of change. So now you can go out and create your own values. And I was thinking, if you haven't read the brochure about Berea College, you may not know that it was some agents of change, some people that have been transformed, that made Berea such a special college. They were the first college in the South to be integrated, to not have tuition. Can you believe that? Berea was the very first. Oh, and to be co-ed, that's kind of important, I think. Berea was the first in the South for those 3 important things. But when I talk about being an agent of change, it doesn't have to be. Well, let me just use Gandhi as an example. You know, Gandhi was this little tiny scrawny guy, and he didn't wear shoes. He wore sandals sometimes, and he was always going on some kind of a hunger strike, and he was certainly an agent of change. And he was a bit of a mystic, which of course makes him a super calloused, fragile mystic with extra halitosis. It'll catch up with you. I'm just saying that what we need right now in the world are agents of change. We need you to have peace in your heart, obviously, before we can have peace in the world. And think about Galileo. You know, when he told the Vatican that he realized that the earth was not the center of the universe, they threw him in jail. But he knew what was right. And while he was in jail, he actually wrote his most important papers, the 2 scientists. So I graduated from the School of Hard Knocks when I was living in Hollywood. Actually, I went out there with my ex-husband, and I had 2 babies. We didn't have a car, if you can believe that. And all you moms out there, I had to take Ashley one time to the pediatrician with 103 temperature on the city bus. And I felt so unworthy. I felt so terrible about myself as a mother. And you know, we attract what we feel worthy of. We literally will not let ourselves have more than we think we deserve. So I attracted this guy, this boyfriend, who beat me, raped me, and did heroin. We attract what we feel worthy of. I'd broken up with him, and he broke into my house one night. And when he passed out because he'd shot up heroin, I grabbed my babies. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. We only lived 2 blocks from the sheriff's station, so we ran down there, got an APB, all points bulletin out for him, and that's where I found out that he had a record in the state of Oklahoma and was considered extremely dangerous. So that night, even though I had 76 bucks to my name, like I said, no wheels, a couple of kids, didn't know a soul out there, didn't have any contact. That night, I realized that you and I do always have choices. And it was literally a turning point in my life because I understood that I needed to get the heck out of there. He would kill me, but I also wanted to come home to Kentucky because the kids were getting overstimulated with all the materialistic phony baloney culture out in Hollywood. So we lived in this little cabin up the road here, and we're just kind of looking around for a place to live. And this sweet little lady, Margaret Allen, fell on the street. I didn't know that she was a legend of Berea. She was a music professor. She fell, we picked her up, took her home, made her comfortable, and she gave me a little note that said, come back and see me tomorrow. I'm going to show you a house that I own. And she took us up to this place on Big Hill, this fabulous house, and I said, I can't begin to pay that. And I thought I was being punked. You know how you see that show on TV? So I ripped her clothes off of her and smashed her watch. She wasn't wired. In fact, that's where we lived for a year. But now here's the biggest shock of all. We lived without a TV or a telephone. Yay! Wynonna actually kept threatening to report me to Child Protective Services. But you know, in that magic year, Wynonna discovered her destiny, which of course was the guitar. Ashley discovered, she was 12, Ashley discovered literature. We read Chronicles of Narnia, and her imagination flourished, and now she's a movie star. She's in the Divergent series that's out right now. And I put myself through nursing school. But then when I realized that Wynonna was so gifted, we took a chance. And here's where you have to take a risk in life. I think not having a risk is kind of like dressing up a corpse. And I love taking risks. You know, one time I was jumping out of an airplane, and halfway down my parachute didn't open. And as I was going down, this guy was coming up, and I hollered, "Do you know anything about parachutes?" And he hollered back, "No, do you know anything about Coleman stoves?" So we took a risk and we moved to Nashville, Tennessee. Wyatt and Ashley and I slept in a cheap motel. An Indian family owned it, and every time I smell curry, I think of them. We slept 3 in a bed, we ate bologna and crackers, but we made it in country music. Thanks to you all. God bless you all for changing our lives. Now, as Elizabeth Taylor said to her 7 husbands, I won't keep you any longer. But would you consider this? This is a milestone in your life. You know, there's a tombstone. Someday it's going to have your name on it. And it's going to have, of course, your birth. And it's going to have your death. And in between is this dash. You get to write your own story. So today's a great day to start thinking about, what do you want your story to be?